My Hero Academia.
Sorry,
this boy's arm is fucking thick.
This guy while I'm chewing on a leaf. So
that threw me off. We're starting on the thick arm. that was just a great panel. I was like, dude.
Let me find where that is actually. Oh, page 12.
Bro, the thickness. Like, Thurman, I'm trying to fight the League of Villains. No, Thurman. He's trying to fight the League of Villains, but his arm is dummy thick, and he keeps destroying his own building.
That's what happens when you're rich. You can just buy a new one.
Bruh. Okay, go. What do you got to say?
So, this guy's quirk is interesting, right? So, it's like he can like make his whole body thick, which would be great for sex, by the way.
No, yeah, I was gonna say like he could be fingering someone and then just
kills them.
Apologies to any women in the audience. Yeah, just
all right. Well, I guess we'll make it gay too. You know what I'm saying? You want to finger?
Yeah.
Finger your man.
Finger a gender neutral asshole.
Finger that prostate.
If you're here for a normal My Hero review, leave your dislike and leave. This is controlled chaos.
Anyway, so
because that was first minute 30 seconds we went to fingering. Good job, Thurman.
They haven't seen us for a while, so we have to bring the usual controlled chaos.
But yeah,
chaos.
So I love Twice making clones of like a lot of the League of Villains. That was great. Yeah. And him going around like, all right, guys, you are clones. So when you die, don't freak out because you're not really gonna die. Like he's basically like prepping them on like, I had this whole fucking like freak out paranoia moment, but then I found out, don't worry, your consciousness won't go away. You know, I like to imagine it's Naruto rules where when the clone dies, like maybe like the fucking maybe the consciousness like goes back to the original. I have no idea, but like the way he words it is like you don't need to worry. You won't cease to exist.
Yeah, so it's interesting how Twice does this, right? I mean, think about it. This man. This is so funny. He's just like arguing with like his clones. He's like, I'm the real one.
Yeah, I love. And then one walks up, see, and then boom! See?
Oh, I told you he was fake. This dude has a Deadpool-esque. Like, Hirokoshi does Westaboo excitement, bro.
This is 100% a Deadpool reference. I knew that from the very beginning. This is the Deadpool character.
I'm waiting for him to fucking pull that fourth wall breaking. So Deadpool versus Twice.
I'm pretty sure someone could probably fucking point out an area where he broke the fourth wall. I can almost guarantee that that's happened.
I'm just waiting for like a Deadpool writer to be like, oh, My Academia, Deadpool character. Deadpool over Marvel and My Academia crossover confirmed.
Seriously though, my favorite page is like, can we just appreciate page 6? Go to page 6 for a second. Bro. Yeah, no, imagine that as his dick. Just for a second.
I mean, given how some hentais are, I can believe
No, that's like straight up some hentai shit. Like, bro, I shouldn't talk about hentai. Got me in trouble last time with the comment section. You guys know, you freaks in the audience, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's some hentai where they gotta like lift up their dick with a fucking like crane.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome though. That's just a great fucking panel.
Fuck can you walk with that size, man?
Well, it seems like Jesus. The way. Oh, are you talking about dick still or his arm?
I was talking about dicks, but that works too.
I was talking about dicks, but that works too. Okay, well, first of all, if in regards to him, the way he fights, and I think this is clever as fuck, which I love it when it's just that little extra bit of like detail that good authors do, where it like someone has a power, but you can see like the clever ways they use the power, right? So like it seems like with him, he activates it very briefly, right? It's like, you know what I mean? And like, which is smart because it seems like he basically like gets like swings his arm and then like right before it hits them, he makes it huge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's
what it seems like. And I like that. It makes sense. And of course, obligatory Gear 3rd comparison here.
Yeah. Fardo.
No. Thirdo.
Whatever. Bitch. Okay,
It's
so we
not
go with
fourth.
the
No,
English.
this is clearly gear third.
Clear.
There you go. Fucking weeb.
I said it right the first time, ho.
No, you said fourth. I'm pretty sure you said fourth, but all right. If you say
I didn't say fourth gear. What the fuck?
Oh, okay. I'll have to play that one back.
Yeah, you play that back, you slut.
Now, I want, as the politics junkie here, I gotta fucking gush about his like political shit because it was so
Here
good,
we go.
bruh.
So you're right. So definitely each league of the association league, whatever, Liberation Army. There we go.
Jesus,
Have their own view.
The League of the Association of the Liberation Army.
They have their own views of how things should be run, right? You had that one person who was like, Quirks, the stronger your, some Apocalypse, X-Men from Apocalypse type shit, like the strong will survive, but the weak will stay, right? Yeah. So this guy's going back to this thing to where, how everyone should be able to use their quirks. Quirks are a part of you. They're genetically. You shouldn't be ashamed. It's kind of like the mutant effect. It's like I talked about, right? It's kind of like the X-Men mutant effect. How a lot of people are saying, like, how Magneto's like, we were born with this. This mutation is a part of us. We shouldn't be ashamed because we're mutants, because we're born with it. It's kind of like how this guy's saying, like, quirks, the reason why I like the origins why they're called quirks, too. We have the origins why
I thought that was great. And because I can fucking visualize that, right? Like this, because remember, this was confirmed. I don't know if you remember this, Thurman. I'm going to test your My Hero knowledge. Chapter 1 of My Hero, it was actually told to us what the very first quirk was. Do you remember what it was? All right, if you get this right, I'll buy you dinner next time you're over here. 10 seconds. Remember. It's been a long time. You suck.
It's been a long time. I don't know.
Suck. Try. It was a little boy I believe it was a boy. I don't remember the gender, but it was a child in China who glue. He was glowing. It was just it was a glowing baby. Like here, I'll get volume 1 right now. I legit want to read this. Hold on.
Remember, a person has blah blah blah.
All right, I'm running back. Okay, so first I'm right on volume 1 here. Okay, I'm gonna read it to you. All right, here it is. Okay, so he says it all began in THICC city in Japan or in China with the news that a bioluminescent baby was born. So yeah, and there's this little panel of like a nurse coming out to like show the husband the baby, and it's fucking glowing like crazy. Like the whole fucking room is just like lit up, and the father's like, "What the fuck?" So yeah, somewhere in China, a glowing baby was born, and that was the first one. So I'm imagining that this is that baby. It has to be from what we're seeing here. So I'm imagining this glowing child, and it doesn't look like it can turn it off because this is like newborn in volume 1 here. Newborn, it's glowing already. So it's not like one you can turn off. Like, it's one of them like kind of like the bird dude. He can't stop looking like a bird. You know what I mean? Like this kid couldn't stop glowing. So I can imagine this being really sad because like this kid trying to fucking live a life just glowing constantly, like. And this is before, keep in mind, this is before there's any of those places that make, like, costumes to help you. Because nowadays, in My Hero world, you could, like, oh, okay, well, you need this special kind of clothing to fucking dampen your glow when you're in public so you're not bothering the fuck out of people. Imagine going to see a fucking movie with a glowy kid over here. You know what I mean? Like, this fucking asshole. But, so yeah, it's really sad. We see he gets, like, stones thrown at him and shit, and I love that the mother, I can just see this, because again, as someone who's really into politics, like, I've been there live at Bernie rallies to hear speeches about, like, people's healthcare stories and people's immigration stories. I can just see it in the My Hero world, like her going to rallies and these public speeches, and there's probably like at this point maybe like a small group of people that were with her, you know what I mean? Like kind of like the early movements of like something like a Green New Deal, or the early movements of something like Medicare for All before it was big, and there's like maybe a handful of people that are there with her, marching through the streets, maybe a small, like maybe like 100, 200 people with her. I can see it with her giving a speech like this. This shouldn't be seen as a mutation to be afraid of. This is a quirk. It's just like anyone's little thing. Think of it as a personality quirk, but physical. I love it. I think that was fucking powerful. And again, this makes me kind of like the Liberation Army, but I can't fully because they're fucked up in many other ways. Because there's a line here that I love where he's confronting Shigaraki here. I gotta find the page. Yeah, and he says this line here. Do you truly believe that a gang of street punks with no history to their name who want nothing more than destruction are greater than us? And in that moment, I'm sitting here like, I agree with him. The League of Villains, from an ideology standpoint, are not better than the fucking, the army here. They're not. Because they don't stand for anything of fucking substance. Shigaraki is still just a childish fucking idiot that doesn't really want anything other than to destroy. And so, like, it's weirdly enough, and this is just a great way to write your villains here, I feel him on a lot of these elements, but at the same time, another good villain thing, because he's kind of like in a gray zone here. He's not right, he's not wrong. You can't just make mass anarchy, because that never works out. So I feel like in reality, there'd be a good middle ground between his position and the government's. Because I like what he says here, where he's talking like, they passed legislation to, to have like a hero system and stuff. But really all that was like, they basically made it even more illegal. They made it illegal and they kind of tried to like trick us like into thinking they're making it legal, but really they're just making it legal for like a small group of people. And I can see how that would be annoying to him, because it's kind of like, the real world equivalent to that is how like rich people, if they like commit like a low level crime, they're not going to go to jail. They can just pay cash bail, right? They just pay someone off, bribe someone, they're fine, right? The way he might look at this is, yeah, okay, you made it so a tiny group of people could use Quirks if they pass this test that is only available to a certain amount of people, and only the most prestigious can go to this school, and yada yada yada. So at the end of the day, what, like 5-10% max are able to use their quirks in public? To him, that's bullshit. And it just makes, I love this speech. I love it. I can see it totally from his perspective. He's not fully right or fully wrong, but it's a good villain when you can see it from his perspective.
Oof. Got claps all around there, boy.
But so I want to know how you feel about, one, his motives and like how powerful, like how you feel about his motives and him as a character, but two, how he shakes up to Shigaraki. Because, like I said, this scene here where he's calling him basically like like you're just a little brat who wants nothing but destruction. How can you possibly go up against us who actually has like motives and meanings behind what we're trying to do? Because I felt him on that line there. It's
moral. What it is morals against morals, right? It's ideologies versus ideology.
Yeah, which is my favorite like part of any piece of fiction, by the way.
So the way I see it is this, right? Shigaraki wants to destroy the hero system because he feels that, just like you said, that quirks are the main reason why the League of Legends are where they are, or why the world is fucked up. Quirks have basically fucked them up. Like most reasons why they're there is because of they were outcast because of they were born with, right?
Yep.
And the reason why Shigaraki wants anarchy is because he's like, this hero system is fucking stupid. Everyone is a living weapon, and it's crazy to me how people can live knowing there's like a weapon like right next to them, living next door, right?
Right. That is one of my favorite. Like, and just to add to what you're saying here, that is extra powerful now. Because, like I said, that scene in the mall where he's like talking about how he just can't get it because it is truly like everyone's walking around with a fucking bazooka because all these people have quirks and they're just it stresses him out that people have quirks, and now that we know why, because as a child he fucking dissolved his family. So like I get his like. The thing with Shigaraki is I wish he could channel his like drive into something more productive, because I get where he's coming from, like, hey, we shouldn't have quirks. His thing is we shouldn't even have quirks. Liberation Army, the fucking opposite. They just want everyone to be able to use them. There's got to be a middle ground. And I know the society they have right now is kind of a middle ground, but like my hope would be that I'm trying to figure out what the My Hero Academia world could do to prevent shit like what happened with Shigaraki. Because truthfully, that needs to be, they gotta do something about that, okay? Because I can't imagine that that's like super rare. I don't think it's like a really common occurrence, but I gotta imagine that there's probably like a, like a 1 in 50,000, 1 in 100,000 case where like maybe kids are either, maybe if not killing, horribly injuring their parents when they awaken their quirks. That's gotta be a thing, you know what I mean? Like, what if your kid's quirk... Remember, I think I made this comparison. Remember fucking Chain Chomp Kid? He had, like, chain chomps for arms?
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine Chain Chomp Kid changing his diaper, and he's like, boom! Like, fucking A! Like, that has to be something that they could work with. So, like, my hope for a genuine, like, middle ground here, if the My Hero... Like, if I was... putting myself in the position of, like, a citizen in the My Hero world, where would I stand politically here? I would hope that, because I think powers are cool. I think there's no reason to get rid of powers. And I don't remember who made this point, if someone in the show made this point, or if we made this point, but I would argue that quirks aren't bad, because if it wasn't quirks, then they'd just be fighting with guns and nukes, which arguably are more dangerous, in my opinion. Because, like, guns... Because not all quirks are, like, a one-shot kill, you know, like, you know, fire, ice, yada, yada, that's cool. But, like, if it wasn't that, humans are fucking violent species. They'd be fighting with guns and nukes and poison gas. And so, yeah, there are some quirks that are extra fucked up, but, like, I don't see getting rid of quirks as getting rid of all violence or all problems. That's not going to happen. Humans are fucking tribalistic by nature. So, I think that there has to be a middle ground of not getting rid of all quirks, but definitely... helping, like, either the government or companies that, like, this guy who makes, like, the suits that help people. There's got to be a way to, like, prevent people's quirks from ruining their lives, especially because, again, going back to, like, Elfen Lied, if anyone's ever read that, there are scenes in that show where, like, these little children awaken their mutant powers and just brutally murder their families, right? Now that was an underground, like, thing in Elfen Lied. Like, not everyone knew about it. In this world, that's got to be a semi-common occurrence. So, like, I'd be curious what the My Hero Academia world's reaction and response to that would be. Like the journalistic woman that wanted to write a piece on Toga, and how Toga's quirk of blood-sucking caused her to go fucking nuts. I'd be really curious what the public's reaction to that would be, and what they'd want to do in response to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
See, I love chapters like this because it really gets you thinking. Like, I could talk about this for hours. It's so good. All right. I'll let you take the stage here, though, Thurman.
Because, and that's the main reason why this guy's saying Shigaraki has a mindset of a child, right? Because instead of thinking like that, he's like, okay, since quirks kind of ruined their lives, why don't we just fuck up the system that endorses quirks, you know? Yeah. Kind of... it's the same thing, because any smart person could be like, okay, it's not the quirk's fault. It's just how the system is working, like, you know. So basically, in a sense, Shigaraki's plan is sort of that of a child, right? Like, if my life was fucked up because of this. So,
I'm angry. I want to tear the whole thing down. Rah, rah, rah. Yeah.
Because of my life fucked up like this, I want to make sure everyone else's life is fucked up like this. Kind of, you know, something like that.
Yeah, and I love the idea that it's his own quirk too. He literally hates how he was born, if you think about it.
Yeah, so in the Liberation Army, they're kind of like...
they're all about, like, be proud of how you were born. Use your...
They're the opposite, right? So they're like, no, the quirks, you shouldn't be ashamed of your quirk. You should be... It's literally, think about it, it's literally Professor X versus Magneto right now. Yeah. Like, for all you X-Men fans up there, American comics, you know, this is literally Professor X versus Magneto right now.
But better because it's manga master race.
Well, I like both, so you can suck your own dick there. But
anyway, stance on manga being better than American comics. Hard
depends.
Stance.
Anyway, because one is like, fuck all quirks. You know, quirks ruins lives. We should really get rid of quirks, but kind of, you know, to full anarchy. Because quirks, one's like, no, quirks aren't as bad as you think. Quirks are a part of you. You're born with them. They're a part of our life. You're gonna have to learn to. Everyone should embrace them and make the world a better place, right? It's literally the same thing. Yeah. Because it's just like one believes that quirks are a nuisance. The one believes that quirks are a part of you, and that everyone should learn to embrace that side. Because think about it, right? Like, let's say one person is like, "Oh, I don't like this about myself. I wish I could change this." But another person's like, "No, that is a part of you. It's you should learn how to live life while also embracing that side."
You know, interestingly enough, right? It's almost, you could almost make the comparison to like there, you know, people that like like if they don't when they don't like something about themselves, they want to like get a surgery, like a cosmetic surgery. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like Shigaraki in this case would be the person who's like, I don't like my nose, cut it the fuck off. Whereas the Liberation Army is like, nah, just embrace your nose, you know? But again, the problem is I can't be fully behind the Liberation Army because their tactics are fucked. Extra fucked. So, I don't know, man. It's really, it's a very good villain on villain confrontation because neither of them are in the right. It's great.
Oh, yes. Talk about this fucking Shigaraki
Yo,
building.
I was waiting, bro! Ugh, I love the fucking clone thing. I love that the clones, like, get a cushion, because I certainly know what my original copy's about to do, and it's about to melt this fucking building down. Like,
Shigaraki building level.
That's actually hype as fuck. Put that shit on the respect thread. Oh.
So this man is
coming right now.
So right now, I'm gonna be honest. Shigaraki might be at a humongous disadvantage. This man is barely hanging on by a thread. This man
look at him! Jesus Christ, he's like fucking drooling blood.
And then
again, at the same time, fucking this guy Redestra over here just fell. He literally just experienced like a fucking building collapse. Like, I don't know if you know, as Shigaraki says, normal people die from that. You're a human. You're supposed to die when you fall from a tall building.
Thank God he didn't make him fodder like that lady. Oh my God, I would have been so upset.
Bro, you are such a bitch.
Angry.
You're such a bitch.
I would have been angry.
Listen, I think the way he's doing it is perfect because the lady was just a journalist. Just because you have a high up position in an organization doesn't mean you have to be a fighter. For the love of God. Ugh.
Yes, it does.
No, it really doesn't, Thurman. Because the beauty of this manga is it's like real. It's just how real life would be if everyone had superpowers. Listen, man, it's just like think about our world today. If you wanted to, you could go join the army right now. But you're not going to. Why? Because you don't want to fight, and you don't want to die, and you don't want to fucking exercise. Me too. I'm right there with you. If you and I had quirks, we would not train them because we're lazy assholes. You may think that you would, but you wouldn't. Because in this world, powers are just normal. So it wouldn't be like the whoa crazy thing to us to them like it is to us. So like if we wanted to, we could go out and fucking get the equivalent to superpowers in our world, which is get fucking buff jacked and be able to throw cars and shit. But we don't because we're lazy assholes. So there is a small number of people that are actually able to fight. Most people in this world are like Deku's mom who can float the fucking TV remote from across the room while she's shoveling Cheetos into her mouth, okay?
Oh.
You would be some asshole with a quirk like some shit like, oh, my hair can fucking, I can make my hair curly or straight whenever I want. Like, now it's straight, now it's curly.
Cringe.
Woo!
That's cringe.
No, it's not. Most quirks are not like combat. Bro, I don't know if you think that every just random ass citizen has like this godly quirk. Like, some of them are stupid.
Anyway.
And if you don't train them, they're not like amazing. Like fucking chick with the bombs. Before she trained a little bit, her bombs were probably like fucking little like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm just really glad that Redestra is not fodder.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I just can't stand your like view of the My Hero world. It's such a cringy. Like, you want to talk cringe? It's this cringy like old school anime like view of life where it's like every character with a power has to be good at fighting, and if they're not, I'm mad about it. Like, no. Like, it should represent a society where people just happen to have powers. Not all of them have to be badass. Like, her position in the corporation was to write, be a writer and like put out information. Like, they are a political organization if you think about it. They're a force for like revolution. Not every single person is going to be the frontline fighters. There's people that sit in the offices and send out flyers. There's people that fucking, sign checks. There's people that take calls. You got to understand, she was the secretary of the Liberation Army.
That secretary knew how to do combat very well.
Not really. If you remember correctly, a couple chapters ago, I know it's been a long time for you, Thurman. She just kind of stood there and had like 20 dudes fighting for her as she fucking monologued.
Well, I mean, her quirk literally turned things into bombs. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
and she was okay at it.
Strat-
And the only way she got legitimate hits on Toga was by suicide bombing her own people. She really wasn't that good at fighting. She literally was like pulling like a fucking Sanji's dad from One Piece, where he had to like fucking pull people in front of him and like do shit tactics. She was not a good fighter at all. If you took like 2 seconds to analyze.
I mean, her quirk was good for
Her
combat.
quirk was good, but she was not like a fighter at all. That's my thing.
She was a strategist.
I can accept that.
It's the same thing. Yeah. Anyway, for Destro,
bruh, I will never get over that. Yeah. So how does Redestro survive this? Like that's quite a fall. And because as we see, Horikoshi ain't on that DBZ level where people can just fall from the sky and be fine. You know what I mean? Like, you know, normal humans have normal human durability. So my only thing is, I'm going to guess he used his big-ass arm to catch himself, or maybe his big-ass arm to, like, somehow parachute himself. It probably has something to do with his big-ass arm.
Normal human have normal durability. Tell that to All Might.
But All Might's All Might.
Don't be a hypocrite.
What?
They're all
He's All Might! Bro, are you kidding me? All Might's like Jesus in this world.
What? The fuck? Are you kidding me?
No, bro, it is literally been said multiple times that, like, if you were to power scale Endeavor and All Might, like, number 1 and number 2, All Might's, like, SSS class, and Endeavor's, like, A class, bro. Like, it's been said this in the manga. Like, Endeavor was even close to All Might. That's why All Might was so important, because this all-for-one quirk is, like, such OP bullshit that, like, he's All Might. Bro, in his prime, like, he's got, like, big mom and durability.
Mm-hmm. Eraserhead and every other class 1A who's taken more than durability says hi.
What the fuck are you talking about? What is Eraserhead took? Please elaborate. Besides getting his face smashed into the concrete, which fucked up his eyes like a normal human would get fucked up, you show me another motherfucker that's fallen from a skyscraper and lived.
If you realize that if you got your face smashed by a Nomu, mind you,
I don't think they have normal human durability. They're clearly above our durability, but I'm saying that they're not like fucking some anime where they just get like smashed through 16 walls and then just brush it off.
He said human durability. You know, I had to throw you there.
I love that we're feisty today, bro. I was just like, oh, God, yes, it's good shit. It's good chemistry.
He's ready for sex. That's that. Oh, I'm horny.
Is this the hate sex? Like we get angry at each other beforehand and then we just fuck it out?
We haven't said hate. Fucking so long. Yeah. Yo, viewers, if you don't know what it's an inside joke me, Red, and David had.
No, I believe the scientific term is hate fuck.
Hate fuck.
Yeah, viewers, just so you know, I want you to be involved in this inside joke, okay? So I'm going to read to you the Urban Dictionary definition of hate fuck, which is one of my favorite things of all time, okay? All right, hate fuck. The act of fucking a person that you despise. Such an act is typically characterized by name-calling, roughness, and immediate departure after the act. The girl was a loudmouthed hippie who talked shit about me at a party once, so I took her home, hate fucked her, and kicked her out. That was the example sentence, by the way, not the story I'm telling you.
Basically, when two people hate each other and there's so much sexual tension, you guys find yourself attractive enough to each other, but hate each other, just fuck each other hard, and then leave, and then never speak again.
So Shigaraki and Redestro are about to hate fuck.
Hate, fight, fuck. Hate and fight and fuck.
Bro, he's about to finger blast him with the huge hand.
That's a hentai.
Bro, there's so much hands involved. He's got a huge hand. Shigaraki's got like 60 other hands. Hot. But anyway, this fight I'm expecting to be epic. This arc has taken like a turn for like even more epic. This chapter was so good. Where do you think this is going here? Because I mean, it's only out of all of the Liberation Army, it's only been the journalism chick that got fodderized. Everyone else is still kicking, yeah.
I'm really glad that Hirokoshi didn't drop the ball in this arc. I had my worries, but he's still in the game, boy. He
ate his Wheaties,
and this week he's gonna have to because his rival is out of commission this week. So
what, Oda?
No.
Oh, Tabata's no Black Clover.
No Black Clover this week. He's taking a break. His first break since his serialization, I believe.
Bullshit. I don't believe that for a second.
Oh, really?
Yeah, look it up. I will bet money. If you're telling me he hasn't taken a break since when he started in like 20 what, like 15?
15.
Get the fuck out of here. Well, anyway, final thoughts and predictions for you, Thurman.
Predictions. Well, we're gonna see. Well, I'm waiting for the Mountain Boy to come here. He's looking for Shigaraki right now.
Oh,
he's
Mountain Boy. I forgot about Mountain Boy. I'm talking about Big Boy.
He's smelling that hand juice right now, so he's ready for
that hand juice.
Yeah, Shigaraki having all those hands on him. Hand juice.
Why are they juicy?
Because he's literally tired. He's dripping that sweat juice.
That tired sweat when you're just like when it just hurts to exist.
Yeah, bro, I'm hoping it's a Avengers Hulk type thing to where like he ignores.
I hope he grabs both. I hope these guys are about to fight, like they're about to clash, and then he just comes in and grabs both of them by the feet and just go. I'm so down.
I will die. Oh my god, I will die. And with that,
peace.
Peace.